Most people wake up every single morning, drink their coffee, and head to a job they don't particularly love to earn money they have already spent. They are running on a treadmill that never stops, chasing a carrot that is always just out of reach. They call it the rat race. But what if I told you the door to the cage has been open this entire time? The reason you feel stuck isn't because you don't work hard enough. It's because you were taught a lie. You were taught to be a good employee, to save pennies, and to fear debt. You were taught the rules of a game that was designed to make you lose. Today, we are tearing up that old script. We are diving into the philosophy that has awakened millions. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is not just a lesson in money, it is a lesson in power. Look at your life right now. Are you working for money, or is your money working for you? Most people spend their entire lives in the first category. They have a poor dad mindset. Now let us be clear. The poor dad in Kiyosaki. S story was not a failure by societal standards. He was a highly educated man, a PhD, a government official. He believed in the traditional path. Go to school, get good grades, find a secure job with benefits, and retire at 65. But despite his intellect, he struggled with bills until the day he died. On the other side, the rich dad didn't even finish the 8th grade, yet he became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. Why? Because he understood a different set of rules. He understood that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. The first and most explosive lesson you must grasp is the definition of an asset versus a liability. This sounds simple, but the middle class gets it wrong every single day. The poor and middle class buy liabilities that they think are assets. Your house is not an asset. Your car is not an asset. That new iPhone is certainly not an asset. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. If you stop working today, what brings you cash tomorrow? If the answer is nothing, then you own no assets. The rich focus obsessively on building an asset column. Real estate, stocks, businesses, intellectual property. They don't buy the luxury car first. They buy the asset that pays for the luxury car. This shift in perspective is the difference between freedom and lifelong servitude. Think about the way you view a paycheck. When most people get a raise, they immediately increase their standard of living. They get a bigger house, a faster car, and more expensive clothes. This is called lifestyle creep. They are feeding the monster. They think more money will solve their problems, but more money without financial intelligence only leads to more debt. You see, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. The rich understand the power of cash flow. They don't care about looking rich. They care about being rich. They understand that a paycheck is a temporary solution to a long-term problem. If you want to be free, you must stop being a consumer and start being an owner. Now let's talk about the biggest hurdle of them all. Fear, specifically the fear of losing money. This fear is what keeps people trapped in safe jobs. But in the modern world, the safe path is actually the riskiest path of all. Relying on a single source of income, your salary, is like walking a tightrope without a net. The rich dad taught that the greatest risk is not taking one. He encouraged the study of financial literacy, accounting, investing, understanding markets, and the law. When you understand how money works, you don't fear the market. You play the market. You stop saying, I can't afford it, and start asking, how can I afford it? That simple change in language opens your brain to see opportunities that were invisible to you before. We need to address the elephant in the room. Taxes. The poor and the middle class work for the government. They earn, they get taxed, and they spend what is left. The rich, however, use the power of corporations. A corporation isn't necessarily a big building with a logo. It's a legal folder that allows you to earn, spend everything you can to grow your wealth, and then only get taxed on what remains. The rich use the rules to their advantage, while the uninformed pay the highest percentages. This isn't about being shady, it's about being smart. It's about understanding the tax code as a series of incentives for those who provide housing, jobs, and energy. If you want to keep your wealth, you must learn the law. History is full of people who worked hard but died broke. Hard work is a requirement, but it is not the goal. The goal is to build a system. Imagine a water pipe. The poor dad spends his life carrying buckets of water from the well to the village. When he stops walking, the water stops flowing. The rich dad spends his time building a pipeline. It's hard work, and at first no water flows. People laugh at him. They tell him he's wasting his time. But once that pipeline is finished, he turns a faucet and the water flows forever, even while he sleeps. Are you carrying buckets or are you building a pipeline? The mind is your most powerful asset. If you train it well, it can create enormous wealth in what seems like an instant. But if you leave it untrained, it will keep you in poverty for a lifetime. You must invest in your mind before you invest in the market. Read the books, attend the seminars, find the mentors. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas and investments, not people who talk about other people and television shows. Your network is your net worth. If you are the smartest person in your circle is too small. You need to be around people who challenge your limitations, not people who validate your excuses. Let's talk about the cash flow quadrant. Most of the world lives on the left side, the employees and the self-employed. On this side, you trade time for money. If you don't work, you don't eat. The right side consists of business owners and investors. On this side, systems and money work for you. The transition from the left to the right is not just a career change. It's a psychological transformation. You have to let go of the security of a steady paycheck to embrace the freedom of equity. It's a terrifying leap, but it is the only path to true independence. You cannot become wealthy by selling your hours. You become wealthy by owning things that produce value. Why do so many people fail even after reading these books? Because of 5 main reasons: arrogance, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and fear. Arrogance is thinking you already know everything. Cynicism is looking for why a deal won't work instead of how it could work. Laziness is staying busy with unimportant things to avoid the hard work of thinking. Bad habits are paying yourself last instead of paying yourself first. And fear is the paralysis that stops you from pulling the trigger on an investment. To win, you must be willing to fail. You must be willing to look stupid. Every master was once a disaster. Every billionaire has lost money, but most people who have never lost a dime are broke. Failure is part of the process of success. You don't learn to ride a bike without falling off a few times. Wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is the number of days you can survive without working physically. If you stop working today, how long would you last? That is the true measure of your wealth. To increase that number, you must acquire assets that generate passive income. This could be dividends from stocks, rental income from properties, royalties from a book, or profits from a business that doesn't require your daily presence. This is the secret of the rich. They don't work for money, they build and acquire assets. Stop making excuses about the economy, the government, or your upbringing. Your financial situation is a reflection of your financial choices. If you want a different result, you must make different choices. It starts today. It starts with the next dollar that enters your hand. Do you buy a coffee? Or do you buy a fraction of a share in a great company? Do you spend your weekend watching Netflix? Or do you spend it researching your first investment property? These small, daily decisions compound over time. In 10 years, you will either be a victim of your circumstances or a master of your destiny. Robert Kiyosaki. S message is a wake-up call to a world that has been lulled into a deep sleep by the industrial age education system. The old rules are dead. The idea of a job for life is a ghost. We are in the information age, where knowledge is the new currency. But knowledge without action is worthless. You can read every book on the shelf, but if you don't take the first step, you will remain exactly where you are. You have to get in the game. You have to start small, but you have to start. Visualize the life you want. A life where you wake up when you're done sleeping. A life where you travel where you want, stay as long as you want, and never have to check your bank balance before ordering dinner. A life where your time belongs to you and your family, not a boss or a corporation. That life is not a dream. It is a mathematical certainty for those who follow the rules of the rich dad. It requires discipline. It requires a thick skin. It requires a hunger that most people simply don't have. But since you are watching this, I know you have it. You have that spark. You know there is more to life than the 9 to 5 grind. Don't let the critics get to you. People will tell you that it's too risky. They will tell you that the market is going to crash. They will tell you that you're being greedy. Ignore them. They are speaking from their own fear. They are the ones who will be working until they're 80, wondering where the time went. You are choosing a different path. You are choosing the path of the entrepreneur and the investor. You are choosing to be the architect of your own life. As we wrap this up, I want you to make a commitment. Not to me, but to yourself. Commit to being a student of money. Commit to buying your first asset this year, no matter how small. Commit to breaking the cycle of poverty or middle class struggle in your family. You have the blueprint, you have the tools. The only thing left is the will to act. The rat race is crowded, but the finish line is wide open. It says time to stop running in circles and start moving toward the life you were meant to live. Remember, the poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Which one are you going to be? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. Go out there, build your empire, and never look back. The world is full of opportunity for those who have the eyes to see it and the heart to chase it. This is your time. This is your moment. Your future self is waiting for you to make this move. Don't let them down.